Princess Zaravek stood by the large window in her royal chambers. Her 6 eyes, shining like purple gems, looked out at the stars. She was thinking hard about her plan. "Your Highness," said Advisor Mock, bowing low. "The royal ships are ready for your trip to the peace talks." Zara turned slowly. Her skin had a soft blue glow in the dim light. "I will not travel on any Astorian ship," she said. Advisor Mock's mouth fell open. "But Princess, our ships are the fastest and safest in the galaxy." "I have made my choice," said Zara. Her voice was firm. "I will only travel on a human vessel, the U." News spread quickly through the Grand Palace. Servants whispered to each other in shock. Guards looked at each other with worry. The royal court was in chaos. Emperor Krelvex, Zara's father, called for an emergency meeting. His face showed his anger. "Daughter, explain this madness," he demanded when Zara entered the throne room. The room was filled with important Astorians. They all stared at the princess. Their faces showed they thought her idea was crazy. "Humans are known for solving problems, in ways we cannot imagine," Zara said calmly. "Their ships may be slower and less advanced, but their crews think differently. I believe this will keep me safe on the journey." "Safe?" The Emperor's voice boomed. "Their technology is primitive. They still use actual buttons and switches." Zara nodded. "Yes, and that is exactly why I want their ship. The Nexus Federation will expect me on one of our royal vessels. They know how our ships work. A human ship will surprise them." The Emperor rubbed his forehead, where a headache was starting. "The peace talks with the Nexus are very important. We cannot risk problems because of your strange ideas." "Then let me go my way, or I will not go at all," Zara said. After hours of arguing, the Emperor finally gave in. He didn't understand his daughter's request, but the peace talks were too important to cancel. "Very well," he said with a deep sigh. "We will contact the humans." On Earth, Captain Alan Frost was enjoying his morning coffee in his small apartment. The view of the San Francisco Bay was beautiful in the early light. His vacation had just started. 3 weeks of rest after a long space mission seemed perfect. Then his phone rang. "Captain Frost," said the serious voice of Admiral Rogers. "Your vacation is canceled. Report to headquarters immediately." 2 hours later, Alan stood in shock as he received his new orders. "You want me to transport an alien princess?" he asked, not sure he had heard correctly. Admiral Rogers nodded. "The Astorian princess has specifically requested a human vessel for her journey to peace talks with the Nexus Federation. This is a great honor for Earth, Captain." "But sir, the USS Intrepid isn't designed for royal passengers," Alan said. "We're an exploration vessel." "You have 1 week to prepare your ship," the Admiral said firmly. "This mission could improve our standing with both empires. Do not fail." As Alan left headquarters, his mind raced. He needed to call his crew back from their vacations. The ship needed cleaning and upgrades, and he needed to learn everything about Astorian royalty and their customs. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Samantha Wright, was not happy when he called. "An alien princess on our ship?" she asked in disbelief. "Why would she want that? Their ships can cross galaxies in days. Ours takes weeks." "I don't know," Alan admitted. "But orders are orders. Be at the ship tomorrow morning." As the sun set, over San Francisco, Alan looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, an alien princess wanted his ship. He had a feeling this mission would change everything. The day of the princess's arrival came quickly. Captain Alan Frost stood at attention in the landing area of the San Francisco spaceport. His crew lined up behind him, all in their best uniforms. "Everyone remember," Alan said quietly. "No sudden movements, no staring. And whatever happens, stay calm." Lieutenant Samantha Wright nodded. She had been studying Astorian customs for days. "The princess might not even look at us," she told the crew. "In their culture, royalty rarely speaks to lower ranks." A bright light appeared in the sky. The Astorian royal shuttle was coming. It looked like a glowing teardrop, smooth and perfect. It made no sound as it landed. For a full minute, nothing happened. Then a door appeared in the side of the shuttle. Light poured out. Princess Zaravek stepped onto Earth. The humans gasped. She was tall, almost 7 feet, with skin that seemed to glow blue from within. Her 6 eyes moved independently, taking in everything at once. She wore a simple white dress that floated around her as if gravity affected it differently. Behind her came 4 royal guards, each carrying strange weapons. They looked at the humans with suspicion. Admiral Rogers stepped forward and bowed. "Your Highness, welcome to Earth." To everyone's surprise, Princess Zara bowed back. "Thank you for accepting my request," she said in perfect English. Her voice sounded like music. "This is Captain Alan Frost," said the Admiral. "He will be commanding the USS Intrepid for your journey." Zara's eyes all focused on Alan at once. It was an uncomfortable feeling. "Captain," she said, "I have studied your service record. You have faced danger and survived when others would not. That is why I requested a human ship." Alan blinked in surprise. "You requested our ship specifically?" "No, I requested any human vessel, but I am pleased it is yours." The royal guards brought out many large boxes and containers. "The princess's necessities," explained one guard. Later, as they showed Zara to her quarters on the Intrepid, Samantha tried to make conversation. "Is this your first visit to Earth, Your Highness?" "Yes," said Zara. "It is much louder than I expected." Samantha smiled. "Humans can be noisy." "I meant your planet itself," said Zara. "It sings. Can you not hear it?" Samantha looked confused. "Earth sings?" "All planets do, but yours sings in many voices." Zara paused at the door to her room. "Lieutenant, right, you will be my main contact during this journey?" "Yes, Your Highness. Good, I have many questions about humans." The next morning, the Intrepid prepared for launch. Captain Allen was checking systems when he noticed the air felt different. "What's wrong with the air?" he asked Engineer Kate Dawson. "The Princess needs different air than we do," Kate explained. "We've adjusted the ship's systems to create a mix we can all breathe. It feels strange, but it's safe." When the ship finally left Earth's orbit, Alan invited the Princess to the bridge. "Would you like to see us enter faster than light travel?" he asked. Zara nodded. "On our ships, we feel nothing when we travel between stars. Is it different on human vessels?" Alan smiled. "Very different." When the Intrepid jumped to FTL speed, the whole ship shook. Lights flickered. Zara's eyes widened, in what might have been fear or excitement. "It's perfectly safe," Samantha assured her. "Just a bit bumpy." "Fascinating," said Zara. "On Astorian ships, everything is calm and controlled. This is unpredictable." "That's humans for you," said Alan. "We like to feel the journey." That night, as the ship traveled between stars, Zara stood alone in her room. She touched a hidden device on her wrist and whispered, "I am on the human vessel. They suspect nothing. The plan continues." 3 days into their journey, Communications Officer Greg Martinez sat up straight in his chair. His face showed worry. "Captain," he called to Alan. "I'm picking up strange signals." Alan walked over quickly. "What kind of signals?" "They're encrypted, but they match Nexus Federation patterns," said Greg. "And they're close." Alan looked at the main screen. "Show me where." Greg pressed some buttons. A map appeared, showing 3 ships following them at a distance. "They're trying to stay hidden," said Alan. "But why would Nexus ships be here? We're still in neutral space." Lieutenant Samantha Wright, who was standing nearby, frowned. "Should we tell the Princess?" "Not yet," said Alan. "Let's find out more first." But it was too late. Princess Zara had entered the bridge silently. "You have found them," she said. Her voice was calm, but her 6 eyes showed fear. "The hunters." "Hunters?" asked Alan. "You knew they would follow us?" Zara nodded slowly. "This is why I chose a human ship. Astorian vessels are fast but predictable. Nexus ships can track them easily." "Your Highness," said Samantha carefully. "Did you know you were being hunted?" When you requested our ship? Of course, said Zara. The peace talks are not real. They are a trap. The bridge went quiet. Everyone stared at the princess. A trap? Alan's voice was hard now. You put my crew in danger without telling us? If I had told you, would you have agreed to take me? Asked Zara. Alan didn't answer. Captain, Greg called again. I've decoded some of their messages. They're talking about an assassination. They want to kill you, Samantha said to Zara. But why? Zara's blue skin darkened with emotion. My father, the Emperor, knew this would happen. He sent me anyway. Your own father sent you into danger? Asked Alan in shock. Politics, said Zara simply. If I am killed by the Nexus, he can declare full war. That is what he wants. And if we're all killed with you? Asked Samantha. Human deaths would make the story better, said Zara. Her voice was sad but honest. Alan's face turned red with anger. So we're just part of a political game? Sacrifices for your father's war? Before Zara could answer, the ship's alarms went off. They're powering weapons, shouted Greg. Evasive maneuvers, ordered Alan. The Intrepid turned sharply, making everyone grab onto something for support. They're faster than us, said Navigation Officer Kyle Patel. We can't outrun them. Chief Engineer Kate Dawson's voice came over the speaker. Captain, I might have an idea. It's crazy, but it might work. What is it? Asked Alan. We could vent plasma from the engines in a controlled explosion, said Kate. It might throw them off and push us into that nearby nebula. That's never been done before, said Kyle. It could tear the ship apart. It's how humans survive, Zara said suddenly, by doing what others think impossible. Alan looked at his crew, then at the alien ships getting closer on the screen. Do it, he ordered. In the engine room, Kate worked quickly, rerouting systems and preparing for her dangerous plan. Everyone hold on, Alan warned the ship. This will be rough. The Intrepid shuddered. There was a loud boom. The lights went out. For a moment, everyone thought they had failed. Then, the emergency lights came on. The ship was damaged but intact. Outside the windows, a colorful nebula surrounded them, hiding them from their hunters. It worked, said Kyle in amazement. We're inside the nebula. Damage report, ordered Alan. Engines damaged. Life support at 80%. Weapons offline, reported Kate from the engine room. But we're alive. Princess Zara looked at the humans with new respect. On an Astorian ship, that would have been considered too risky to try. On a human ship, said Alan, still angry, we tell the truth to people whose lives are at risk. Zara lowered all 6 of her eyes. I was wrong to hide the truth, I am sorry. Alan sighed. We need to repair the ship and figure out what to do next. We can't go to the peace talks now. No, agreed Zara. But perhaps together we can find another way. Hidden deep in the colorful nebula, the USS Intrepid drifted quietly. The crew worked hard to fix the damaged ship. Sparks flew as they repaired broken panels. Emergency lights cast a red glow over everything. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Kate Dawson wiped sweat from her forehead. She had been working for 12 hours straight. Hand me that tool, she said to her assistant. Princess Zara stood nearby, watching with curiosity. She had never seen people work like this before. Why, do you not rest? Zara asked Kate. Kate looked up in surprise. We need to get the engines running before those Nexus ships find us. But you are tired, said Zara. On my world, workers would be replaced when tired. We don't have extra people, said Kate. Everyone has to do their part, no matter how tired. Zara tilted her head. Even you, the chief? Especially me, Kate said with a small smile. On a human ship, leaders work alongside everyone else. On the bridge, Captain Allen was studying star maps with Navigation Officer Kyle. The nebula will hide us for now, said Kyle. But we can't stay here forever. I know, said Allen. We need a new plan. Security Chief Paul Rodriguez entered the bridge. Captain, I've been thinking about our situation. The princess needs protection if we're caught. What do you suggest? Asked Alan. I could teach her basic self-defense, said Paul, in case we're boarded. Alan raised his eyebrows. You want to teach an alien princess how to fight? On a human vessel, everyone should be able to defend themselves, said Paul, even royalty. Later that day, in the ship's training room, Paul stood facing Zara. Lieutenant Samantha Wright watched from the side. Your Highness, these are simple. Moves that might save your life, Paul explained. Zara looked confused. In my culture, royalty never fights. We have guards. What if your guards aren't there? Asked Paul. What if you're alone? This was a new idea for Zara. On her world, royalty was never alone. Show me, she said finally. Paul demonstrated a simple defensive move. If someone grabs you, twist your arm like this and push here. Zara tried to copy him. Her movements were awkward at first. No, like this, said Paul, showing her again. After an hour of practice, Zara was learning quickly. Her alien body moved differently than a human's, but she found ways to make the moves work. You're a natural, said Samantha with surprise. My species learns physical movements easily, explained Zara. We just never use this ability for fighting. That evening, the crew gathered in the mess hall. The mood was serious. Captain Allen stood to address everyone. Our situation is difficult, he said. The Nexus ships are still searching for us. Our engines are damaged, and we now know the peace talks are a trap. What are our options? Asked Greg. We could try to return to Earth, suggested Kyle. But it's far and we'd be hunted the whole way. Or we could continue to the peace talks and expose the trap, said Samantha. Zara spoke up. My father would deny everything, and the Nexus would still try to kill me. There must be another way, said Alan. Kate stood up. I've been thinking. What makes human ships special isn't the technology, it's how we work together. What do you mean? Asked Alan. On Astorian ships, everyone has one job. They follow orders without question, Kate explained. But here we all contribute ideas, we argue. We find new solutions together. Zara was listening carefully. This is true. On my father's ships, a low-ranking engineer would never speak directly to the captain. But here, you all talk freely. That's how humans have survived despite having less advanced technology, said Kate. We adapt. We work together. So what's your idea? Asked Alan. We use the nebula gases to boost our damaged engines, said Kate. It's never been done before, but I think it could work. That sounds dangerous, said Kyle with concern. It is, admitted Kate. But it might give us enough speed for a surprise escape. Captain Allen looked around at his crew. Then he looked at Princess Zara. The alien's 6 eyes showed something new, respect. We'll try it, decided Allen. Because that's what humans do. We try the impossible when there's no other choice. Zara nodded slowly. I am beginning to understand why I was right to choose a human vessel. Your weakness is also your strength. Days passed while the Intrepid stayed hidden in the nebula. The ship's power was low to avoid detection. With the main lights off, the corridors were dim and cool. Princess Zara sat in the ship's small medical bay. Ship's doctor Lisa Chen was scanning her with a medical device. Your biology is fascinating, said Lisa. The information in our database about Astorians is very limited. My people do not share medical information with other species, said Zara. Why not? Asked Lisa. Knowledge is power, said Zara simply. My father believes sharing weakens us. Lisa shook her head. In human medicine, sharing knowledge saves lives. Zara thought about this. It was another difference between their worlds. Later that evening, the crew gathered in the mess hall. Since power was low, they lit candles to save energy. The warm glow made shadows dance on the walls. We still have 3 days before we can try Kate's plan, said Captain Allen. We need to stay quiet and conserve power. What should we do in the meantime? Asked Greg. Navigation Officer Kyle smiled and pulled out a small box from his pocket. Anyone want to play a game? A game? Zara looked confused. During a crisis? Especially during a crisis, said Kyle. It helps keep our minds sharp. Kyle opened the box to reveal a chess set. The pieces were small and carved from wood. It's an ancient Earth game of strategy, Kyle explained to Zara. Would you like to learn? Zara hesitated. In my culture, royalty does not play games. We study serious things only. This is serious, said Kyle with a grin. It's about war and strategy. Kings and queens. Something about the candlelight and the friendly faces around her made Zara nod. Very well. Teach me. As Kyle explained the rules, the other crew members watched with interest. No one had ever taught an alien princess to play chess before. Zara learned quickly. Her 6 eyes gave her an advantage. She could see the whole board at once. Check, she said after 20 minutes of play. Her bishop threatened Kyle's king. Impressive, said Kyle, moving his king to safety. Why do humans waste time on such activities? Asked Zara as they played. These pieces are not real armies. No territory is gained. It's not a waste, said Samantha, who was watching. Play strengthens bonds between people. It helps us think in new ways. And it's fun, added Paul. Fun, repeated Zara, as if testing a strange new word. This concept is not important in my culture. What is important in your culture? Asked Lisa. Zara's blue skin darkened slightly. Duty, power, control. That sounds lonely, said Samantha. Quietly. Zara was silent for a moment. Then she said something that surprised everyone. It is lonely, she admitted. Astorian royalty is born different. Our genes are modified before birth. We are conditioned to care only about empire and power. You were genetically modified? Asked Lisa with concern. Yes, to be smarter, stronger, more focused on duty. Zara moved another chess piece. But watching you all, I wonder what was lost in that process. What do you mean? Asked Alan. You help each other without being ordered to. You laugh together. You play games during a crisis, said Zara. These things have no place in my world, but they seem to make you stronger, not weaker. The candlelight flickered, casting warm light on the faces around the table. For a moment, no one spoke. Checkmate, said Kyle suddenly, moving his queen. Zara examined the board with all 6 eyes. Her king was trapped. You won. You played well for your first game, said Kyle. Want to try again? Before Zara could answer, Greg's voice came over the ship's communicator. Captain, I need you on the bridge right away. Everyone hurried to the bridge. Greg was at his communication station, his face serious. I intercepted a message, he said. An Astorian royal cruiser is headed this way. It's the Emperor's personal ship. My father, whispered Zara. Her 6 eyes showed fear. How did he find us? Asked Alan. I don't know, said Greg. But they'll reach the nebula in 6 hours. We're not ready to move yet, said Kate. The engines need more time. Then we'll have to face them, said Alan. Everyone prepare for possible contact with the Astorian royal cruiser. As the crew rushed to their stations, Zara stood still in the middle of the bridge. For the first time in her life, she didn't want to see her father. In just a few days, these humans had shown her a different way of living, a way with friendship, humor, and hope. She touched a small chess piece in her pocket. The queen Kyle had given her as a souvenir of their game. It felt solid and real, like the connections she was beginning to form with the human crew. The giant Astorian royal cruiser appeared at the edge of the nebula. It was 20 times larger than the Intrepid, shaped like a perfect silver oval. No visible weapons showed on its smooth surface, but everyone knew it could destroy them in seconds. They're hailing us, said Greg, looking at his screen. Captain Allen took a deep breath. On screen, the main screen lit up. Emperor Krelvex appeared, tall and intimidating. His blue skin was darker than Zara's, and he had 8 eyes instead of 6. His royal robes shimmered with strange metals. Daughter, he said coldly, you have caused much trouble. Zara stepped forward. Father, I can explain. Silence, said the Emperor. Captain Frost, prepare to transfer the princess to my vessel immediately. Alan looked at Zara, then back at the Emperor. With respect, Your Majesty, we were hired to transport Princess Zara to the peace talks. Those arrangements have changed, said the Emperor. I will take her myself. May I ask why? Alan pressed. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. You may not. The princess will be transferred within 1 hour, or your ship will be destroyed. The screen went black. He didn't even ask if you were okay, said Samantha to Zara. That is not our way, said Zara quietly. Alan turned to his crew. Options? We could try to run, suggested Kyle, but the engines aren't fully repaired. We could fight, said Paul, but we would lose. I should go with him, said Zara. It is the only way to save your lives. Let's think carefully, said Alan. Something doesn't feel right. Lieutenant Samantha offered to escort Zara to her quarters to pack her things. As they walked through the corridor, Samantha noticed Zara was very quiet. Are you okay? Asked Samantha. No, admitted Zara. I do not wish to return to my father's ship. In Zara's quarters, the princess moved to a small window and stared out at the nebula. My time here has been educational. What will happen when you go back? Asked Samantha. I will be punished for failing my mission, said Zara. Then I will be sent on another political errand. That sounds awful, said Samantha. Zara turned to her. It is my duty. As they talked, Samantha noticed a small device on the wall near Zara's bed. It wasn't part of the ship's regular equipment. What's that? She asked, pointing. Zara looked nervous. It is nothing. But Samantha was already examining it. This is a communication device, she said slowly. Have you been sending messages? Zara didn't answer. Samantha pressed the device and a hidden recording played. It was Zara's voice speaking to the Emperor. Father, the humans suspect nothing. When I return, I will bring all information about their defense systems. Samantha stepped back in shock. You've been spying on us this whole time? Zara's 6 eyes blinked rapidly. It's not what you think, but Samantha was already moving to the door. I have to tell the captain. Zara reached out and grabbed Samantha's arm. Please wait. Let me explain. The door opened suddenly. 2 large Astorian royal guards stood there. Behind them was Emperor Krelvex himself. Well done, daughter, said the Emperor with a cold smile. You have led us right to them. Father, Zara began. Take the human, ordered the Emperor. The guards grabbed Samantha. She fought back using the same moves she had taught Zara, but the guards were too strong. Let her go, shouted Zara. You have grown soft, daughter, said the Emperor. These humans have polluted your mind with their weakness. Samantha managed to hit her communicator. Captain, we're being boarded. The Emperor is 1 guard hit, her cutting off her words. Alarms began to sound throughout the ship. The Emperor looked at Zara with disappointment. I had such hopes for you. Now I see you are flawed like your mother was. What do you mean? Asked Zara. Your mother believed in peace, in cooperation with lesser species, said the Emperor. I had those tendencies removed from your genetic code, but somehow they have emerged anyway. Because they are not flaws, said Zara. They are strengths. Enough, said the Emperor. Come, we have important work to do. As they forced Zara and Samantha down the corridor, they could hear fighting in other parts of the ship. The Astorians had boarded the Intrepid at multiple points. In the confusion, Samantha managed to whisper to Zara, Did you really betray us? Or was that recording from before you got to know us? Zara looked at Samantha with all 6 eyes. The recording was from our first day. Things have changed since then. Changed how? Asked Samantha. Before Zara could answer, they were pushed into the main cargo bay. Captain Allen was already there, held by more guards. His face was bruised. Other crew members were being brought in too. "Captain Alan Frost," said Emperor Krelvex. "Your ship is now under my control. Your crew will be executed as spies." "We're not spies," said Alan. "We were hired for a transport mission. A mission that was cover for my daughter to gather intelligence," said the Emperor. "But she has failed me. Now I must take more direct action." The Emperor turned to Zara. "Watch carefully, daughter. This is how we deal with lesser species who have outlived their usefulness." Zara looked at T. Princess Zara stepped forward, placing herself between her father and the humans. "No," she said. Her voice was quiet but firm. Emperor Krelvex stared at her. "What did you say?" "I said, no," repeated Zara. "I will not let you harm them." The Emperor's 8 eyes narrowed. "You dare defy me for these primitives?" "They are not primitives," said Zara. "They have shown me more wisdom in days than I have seen in years on our world." The Emperor laughed coldly. "You have grown weak, daughter." "Compassion is not weakness," said Zara. "It took me too long to learn that." With lightning speed, she grabbed a weapon from the nearest guard. It was an Astorian stun rod. She pointed it at her father. The guards moved forward, but the Emperor raised his hand to stop them. "You would threaten your own father, your Emperor?" "I would stop a genocide," said Zara. The humans looked confused. Captain Allen spoke up. "What genocide?" "Tell them, father," said Zara. "Tell them about your secret deal with the Nexus Federation." When the Emperor said nothing, Zara continued. "The peace talks were never real. My father has made a deal with the Nexus to crush the rebellion on our outer worlds. Millions will die." "Is this true?" Alan asked the Emperor. "It is necessary for the stability of the Empire," said Krelvex coldly. From her position by the door, Lieutenant Samantha saw an opportunity. While everyone was focused on Zara and the Emperor, she caught Paul's eye and nodded slightly toward a panel on the wall. Paul understood. Slowly, he shifted his position. "The rebellion fights for basic rights," said Zara. "For freedom from genetic manipulation, for the right to choose their own leaders." "Childish ideas," said the Emperor. "The Empire has lasted 10,000 years because we maintain order through strength. And fear," added Zara. "But there are better ways." As they argued, Samantha moved slightly closer to the panel. Paul was also inching toward it from another direction. "Enough of this," said the Emperor. "Guards, take my daughter to my ship. She needs genetic reconditioning." 2 guards moved toward Zara. She backed up, still holding the stun rod. "Stay back," she warned. In that moment, Paul lunged for the panel and hit the emergency button. The lights went out completely. In the darkness, Samantha moved quickly, using the self-defense moves she had practiced for years. The sounds of struggle filled the dark cargo bay. When the emergency lights came on 30 seconds later, Samantha had freed Captain Allen and several other crew members. Zara was fighting against a guard, using the moves Paul had taught her. She wasn't as skilled as the guard, but her determination made up for it. "Communications are down across both ships," shouted Kate, who had managed to reach a computer terminal. "I've locked out their systems." The Emperor's face showed real anger for the first time. "This is impossible. How did you override Astorian technology?" "We didn't," said Kate with a smile. "We used our own methods to create interference. Something you'd never expect." More fighting broke out. The humans were outnumbered but fought with surprising effectiveness. They worked together, covering each other's weaknesses. In the chaos, the Emperor grabbed a weapon from a fallen guard and pointed it at Captain Allen. "Enough. Stop, or your captain dies." Everyone froze. Zara turned to see her father holding the Siu, deadly weapon at Allen's head. "Now," said the Emperor, "everyone will board my ship. The humans will be executed, and you, daughter, will be reconditioned to remove these flaws in your thinking." "There's something you don't know, father," said Zara quietly. "What is that?" asked the Emperor. "When you sent me to spy on the humans, I learned something important," said Zara. Something about myself. As she spoke, she moved closer to the Emperor. I learned that the genetic modifications you made to me included a hidden kill switch, a way to end my life if I ever disobeyed you. The Emperor's face showed surprise. How did you learn this? The humans helped me discover it, said Zara, and they helped me disable it. For the first time, the Emperor looked uncertain. Impossible. Human technology could not detect such advanced programming. From across the room, Greg spoke up. We didn't need to understand it. We just needed to jam the signal that would trigger it. While you were focused on capturing us, we were working on saving Zara, said Samantha. The Emperor raised his weapon higher. It doesn't matter. I still have the upper hand. Do you? Asked Zara. She nodded toward a screen on the wall. The screen showed Kate at a different computer terminal. She was broadcasting a message. I've sent the truth about your genocide plan to both the Astorian Empire and the Nexus Federation, said Kate, using your own royal communication channels. The Emperor's face paled to a lighter blue. No one will believe it. They will when they see this, said Zara, holding up a small crystal. Full recordings of your private meetings with Nexus leaders, your plans to eliminate billions of beings for political convenience. Where did you get that? Demanded the Emperor. I am your daughter, said Zara simply. I know all your hiding places. For a long moment the Emperor stared at Zara. Then suddenly he fired his weapon, not at Alan but at Zara. Captain Alan shoved Zara aside, taking the hit instead. He fell to the ground. Alan! Screamed Samantha. In the confusion, Paul tackled the Emperor. Other crew members overwhelmed the remaining guards. Zara and Samantha rushed to Alan's side. He was badly injured but still breathing. Get him to medical, ordered Samantha. As they carried Alan away, Zara looked back at her father, now restrained by Paul and other crew members. You would have killed your own daughter, she said. Her voice was sad, not angry. The Emperor said, Nothing. On the bridge of the Intrepid, Kate was monitoring the communications. Ships are coming, she reported. Many ships from both the Empire and the Nexus. They received our broadcast, said Greg. What do we do now? Asked Kyle. Zara looked around at the human crew who had taught her so much, who had been willing to die to stop a genocide, who had saved her from her father's control. Now, she said, we build something new. 6 months later, the USS Intrepid floated in space near a beautiful ringed planet. The ship looked different now. It had been repaired and improved with parts from many worlds. The human design remained, but now it carried symbols from a dozen alien species. Inside the ship's large conference room, representatives from many planets sat around a table. Some had scales, others had fur. Some breathed different air and wore special masks. But all were there for the same reason. Captain Alan Frost stood at the head of the table. His chest still showed scars from the Emperor's weapon, but he was strong again. The Galactic Cooperative is now official, he announced. 27 worlds have signed the agreement. Cheers and various alien sounds of approval filled the room. Samantha Wright, now Commander Wright, smiled at the joy around her. In the center of the table sat a hologram showing a new symbol, a circle of different colored hands reaching toward each other. It was the new flag of their alliance. Princess Zara, no longer wearing royal clothes but a simple blue uniform, stood up. We thank the human vessel Intrepid and its crew. Without them, we would still be enemies, not friends. After the meeting, Zara and Alan walked through the ship's corridors. Aliens and humans worked side by side, fixing systems and sharing ideas. Your father's trial begins next week, said Alan. Are you ready to testify? Zara nodded. Yes, it will not be easy, but it must be done. After the revolution, Emperor Krelvex had been arrested by his own people. The evidence of his planned genocide had shocked both the Astorian Empire and the Nexus Federation. Now he would face justice. What about the genetic reconditioning centers? Asked Alan. Any progress shutting them down? Dr. Lisa and scientists from 3 worlds are working on it, said Zara. They have already freed 2,000 children who were being modified to become perfect citizens. They reached the observation deck. Through the large windows, they could see ships from many worlds floating nearby. Some were sleek and advanced. Others were simple and practical. All flew the new flag of the cooperative. I never imagined this outcome when I requested a human vessel, said Zara. Neither did I, admitted Alan with a smile. In the ship's engine room, Kate was teaching engineers from 5 different worlds. The key is to combine technologies, she explained, pointing to a new engine design. Astorian power systems with human adaptability and Nexus cooling methods. One alien engineer with green skin and 4 arms looked amazed. On my world, we never share technology with others. We thought it made us weak. That's what my people thought too, said Zara, entering the room. We were wrong. In the security section, Paul was training a mixed group of aliens and humans. Remember, we protect each other, he told them. No species is more important than another. The trainees practiced together, learning to use their different bodies and abilities as advantages rather than obstacles. Greg, now communications director for the entire cooperative, was developing a new universal translation system. It uses patterns from 12 languages to find common ground, he explained to visitors. Kyle had become the cooperative's chief navigator. His talent for games had turned into a gift for bringing different cultures together. Think of diplomacy, like chess, he told a group of new representatives. You must understand how others think to succeed. That evening, the crew of the Intrepid gathered in the mess hall for a celebration. The room was decorated with symbols from all their new, allied worlds.